Welcome to the Exponential Edge podcast with your host, Arya Salur. I'm excited to have you join me on this journey, exploring the forefront of technological advancements and innovation that will shape our future. As a junior at Acton-Boxborough Regional High School in Massachusetts and the CEO of SecArmor, a cybersecurity startup, I'm fascinated by the transformative power of technology. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into 5 key areas that are poised for exponential growth in the next decade. We'll be exploring the realms of cybersecurity, generative AI, sustainability and climate tech, biotech and human longevity, as well as the reshoring of manufacturing. And we'll also go over rising startups disrupting the marketplace. These topics and businesses hold immense potential to revolutionize our world and redefine the way we live, work, and interact. Each episode will feature insightful conversations with experts, thought leaders, and visionaries who are at the forefront of these fields. In just 30 minutes, our goal is to provide you with 5 signature nuggets of wisdom from our guests. These key takeaways will empower you with knowledge and help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technological landscape. Without further ado, let's introduce our guest for this week. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of the Exponential Edge podcast. Today, our guest is Raghavendra Joshi, co-founder and CIO of LaundryMate. Hi, Raghavendra. How are you doing today?
Hi Arya, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Awesome. And thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. So,
Great. It's wonderful
first
to be on
off,
this. It's wonderful to
mhm,
be on this
yep,
podcast with you. Uh,
mhm,
would love to talk to you, walk you through this particular broadcast for the next half an hour or so.
yep. So, first off, would you just be able to give us a brief overview of your career thus far?
Sure. I completed my engineering from Bangalore University in 1991. Started off as a trainee engineer. I completed my mechanical engineering and started off as a trainee engineer with Robert Bosch. In those days, it was called MICO. Worked
Yep.
there for a year or so, then went on to join Indian Aluminum, which was one of the leading aluminum producers in the aluminum, various kinds of aluminum products. Right. So joined them as a sales development engineer. Worked there for a little over a couple of years, 2.5 years, and then went on to do my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, which is one of the most prestigious institutions in the country. Uh,
Yep.
I, I received my MBA from IMA in '97. From there, my career took a turn. I joined the banking and financial services industry. Started with Citibank and moved through different banks and financial institutions like uh, G Capital, Yes Bank. I was part of the founding team at Yes Bank. Then Reliance Jio, again, part of the founding team at Reliance Jio Payments Bank, and also had a couple of consulting stints with a couple of fintechs. Overall, I spent about 16 and a half years with banks and financial services institutions. Also had a little over a decade uh, stint with the consumer services and consumer tech services companies like IBM and VFS Global. So overall, I've got about 28 years of work experience, largely in banks and financial service institutions, about 17 years, and the balance in tech services companies.
Awesome. And what's interesting is you said you went to Bangalore Institute of Technology, and I know you got your bachelor's in mechanical engineering, which is a stray away from what you ended up doing with your master's and your work life. So, could you talk about that switch from mechanical engineering to business and banking, and any anything that mechanical engineering may have helped you with also?
Sure. I really enjoyed going through all the courses of mechanical engineering and the 3 years prior to my MBA where I worked as an engineer. That was
Yeah.
a very nice period where I was learning a lot on the field. I spent a lot of time on the shop floor, so to speak. Worked with a lot of machinery, a lot of equipment. I enjoyed it, but then I uh, was yearning to take on larger roles, both of which had a lot of technical, which expected a lot of technical knowledge, and something that would also give me a business side of learning, or the business side of things. So
Yep.
I will started looking for roles where I could get into handling larger and larger assignments, larger projects in the corporate world, and I felt that it was time that I did an business course. So that's when I went on to do an MBA, and subsequently, out of MBA school, I ended up joining Citibank because I felt that
Yep.
banking was the place that in India at that time. This was the late 90s or
Mhm.
mid 90s. That's when banking itself was undergoing a lot of transformation. A lot of automation was coming into banking. Processes were getting redefined. Privatization of banks started. The financial services industry started booming in India. So I thought that was a right opportunity for someone like me who just sort of business school, and that's when I ended up joining banks. And my journey
Mhm.
through banks has continued from there. It continued right up till 2016 when I joined
Yep.
Reliance Jio Payments Bank.
Mhm. And I know you also worked in cloud banking towards the end of your
Hmm.
banking career, right? Do you think you could talk about that a little bit, the transition to cloud banking?
What did you say? Cloud banking or private banking? What is? Did you say cloud?
Cloud banking.
Cloud banking. Okay. So Reliance Jio Payments Bank was being built as one of the new age payment services banks. This is a digital loan. It was initially envisaged to be a digital only kind of a bank with very little physical brick and mortar presence. But things have evolved from there. Uh, the idea was to enable digital payments, digital kind of transactions, and all kind of banking services to the general population uh, using just simply mobile phones as well as the power of the web.
Yep.
So that's how this bank was built, and I was very happy with the way we built the bank, and we rolled out some of the services. uh, Payments bank have taken on a different spin altogether, thanks to the changing regulation, thanks to the wallets uh, leapfrogging, and then a lot of other things have happened in the country. NPCI has rolled out something called UPI. UPI is Unified Payment Interface, which is one of the most common forms of peer-to-peer transactions that's available in the country. So a lot of changes, a lot of fintech-driven changes occurred, and I think you know this would not have been possible uh, had the banking industry not moved through a very stable phase. So from the late 90s to the early 2000s and mid 2000s, banking industry did go through a lot of upheaval, but then it kind of stabilized so that the next level, the next step up that happened in the banking industry was the digitization of various services.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, you're right. You can call it cloud banking because most of the services were off the cloud. So yes, payments bank were being built. A lot of payments banks, including Reliance Jio, were being built as cloud native, mobile first kind of digital banks.
Yep.
The experience was
So,
awesome. Awesome.
yep, I could imagine. And you use the power of technology and the web to initiate this shift in the banking industry. And then now you're using the power of the web to transform the laundry industry in India with your company LaundryMate. So, could you talk about your shift from banking? And you worked in banking for 16 years, and then you did consulting for another 10. And what was the entrepreneurial shift or mindset that enabled you to start LaundryMate?
Mhm.
What inspired you to start your company?
Okay. So just before I joined LaundryMate, or just before we came together to set up LaundryMate, there are six of us, six co-founders who
Mm-hmm.
stuck together to launch or set up LaundryMate. Before that, my last role was that as the consulting leader at IBM, IBM Global Business
Mm-hmm.
Services, and a couple of years into IBM, I was handling very large digital transformation programs for banks, private sector banks in India,
Yeah.
across South Asia, really.
Mhm.
Somewhere along the line, I always had this urge to be part of the fintech revolution that was sweeping across the country, and that's when I started.
Would you be able to define that for our viewers, fintech?
Fintech is basically a composite word. It's basically financial services and technology. So these are organizations that leverage technology intensely to provide financial services. So these are the digital banks, the digital loan services companies, the digital KYC kind of companies, the digital investment or the fund management kind of companies.
Mhm.
Typically, they are financials. They are the core business is financial services, but they leverage technology platforms. They usually do not have a very strong brick and mortar presence. Everything
Okay.
is done. Everything is done on the web. Everything is done on the uh, cloud or on the mobile phone.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Uh,
Okay.
so somewhere I was, I was again around this period, around mid 2010, sorry, 2017, 18. Uh, a lot of startups were picking up pace in India at that time. And I
Mhm.
always had this urge to explore some entrepreneurial kind of ventures outside.
Yeah.
I had always been in a very steady kind of a corporate role uh, for
Mhm.
about a couple of decades prior to that. And then I
Yeah.
decided to explore my entrepreneurial instincts, and I thought that one should, get to play in the fintech world or maybe in the consumer services space. And I was looking for
Mhm.
a big opportunity where I could utilize my experience, where I could utilize my knowledge, because I had worked across multiple sectors. I had worked in technology services, I had worked in banking services, I had worked as an engineer in the core manufacturing services. So I
Mhm.
thought that maybe there could be an opportunity, and it just so happened that while having a conversation with my good friend and classmate Abhinay Chaudhary, who was a very successful entrepreneur, who was
Yeah.
known for his you know for he's the one who founded Big Basket. So
Okay.
we just got into a conversation with him, and then he proposed this idea. And it sounded very exciting to me. uh, so as I researched this opportunity, he made available some research reports, and he gave me some insights into how big this industry is. And then I thought it was a real good uh, market opportunity that had not been tapped. And this was the
Yeah.
laundry services, the consumer
Mhm.
facing laundry services. Uh, Distinct from the the B2B kind of laundry services that is there in the country, which is more of an organized market. But
Mhm.
the retail market is really fragmented in the sense that there are thousands and maybe tens of thousands of laundry services providers, but they're all local neighborhood kind of laundry providers. So there isn't
Yeah.
one national global or a national player who has a chain of laundry services, or there isn't uh, a single provider, a one-stop shop kind of a service that provides various kinds of pickup and drop and delivery services at very affordable rates. There are services,
Mhm.
but they are all premium priced, and they are not. They're meant for special use cases, in the sense that you would give your expensive garments or your suits or your wedding dresses and gowns for laundry services, but you would not give
Yeah.
your daily wear kind of clothes. So
Mhm.
when this proposition we started discussing this, I thought this was a very interesting idea. And as I started researching more, and as we started looking at some of the reports that came to us by one of our agencies whom we had hired for to do the market survey research, we realized that this is a huge untapped market. And one thing led to another, and I decided to pitch headlong into LaundryMate. Uh,
Yep. So basically, you guys are aiming to be the premier affordable laundry service for, I believe it's just Bangalore right now, right?
it is just Bangalore. We've just started. We started this pilot in Bangalore in 2022, late 2022 October. Uh,
Mhm.
it's been about a year and a half, little less than a year and a half since we've launched. Uh, so the traction has been good. We've got a good,
Mhm.
very positive response, very encouraging response. Uh,
Mhm.
our mission is to be provider of very good quality laundry services at very affordable
Mhm.
rates and within a tat of 24 hours. That's a promise that we will keep.
Yep. Mhm. And talking about your cleanliness and the detail in which you do the laundry,
Mm.
one of the things that I've seen that you claim is your specialty is your advanced cleaning methods, right? Your advanced machines, advanced detergents.
Mhm.
And can you explain in detail how these methods differentiate LaundryMate from a traditional home laundry machine or a neighborhood laundromat?
Sure. So while I mentioned our mission is to provide very affordable, convenient, and high quality laundry services within a 24-hour
Mhm.
tat, right? Uh,
Yep.
one of the things that we did not, uh, which I did not explicitly mention, is that underlying the theme of quality is also the kind of equipment, ingredients that we use, whether it be detergents, wash chemicals, the processes, etc. Right. So that
Yep.
is the really the bedrock. That really is our secret sauce. The kind of
Mhm.
equipment that we use. We use some of the world's best or highly rated equipment from countries as diverse as Netherlands, uh,
Mhm.
Denmark, Japan, the US, Turkey, and so on. Right?
Yep.
We use wash chemicals as well as detergents and various kinds of additives in small quantities. Right? And
Mhm.
I'll come back to you why I'm saying small quantities.
Yeah.
Uh, we use these ingredients from some of the world's leading suppliers. Uh, I won't name the supplier, obviously, vendor confidentiality purposes, but you can
Mhm.
imagine these are the top two or three suppliers in the world. So one from the US, one based in Germany, right? Uh,
Yep.
Now that's to do with the equipment and the ingredients, whether they be detergents or wash chemicals.
Mhm.
The other part that most people do not talk about or most people ignore is the processes, the underlying processes, the underlying technology platforms that we have put together, right? We have developed our
Yep.
own bespoke ERP or our own bespoke application. So we have our own consumer app, our own delivery app. We have built a very large operations management platform, which serves like an
Mhm.
ERP to us, right? All of this, along with people, the kind of people that we have recruited, the kind of people that we've trained, we have deployed as process champions, that with the process, very stringent, tightly woven processes that we have encased all of this together, ensures that the
Mhm.
output that comes out, the output is embedded with the most superior quality that you can get. When I say superior quality, I mean you can compare the quality of the garments that are processed, whether they be ironed
Yep.
or they are washed or dry cleaned, with uh, whatever quality that you may get at home or with your neighborhood dry cleaner. There's a world of difference. It's not just visual. I mean, you can obviously make the difference. You can differentiate it visually, but also in the feel, the garment, how the garment is. We actually care for the garment, right? We treat it with so much
Mhm.
love and affection that you will find that the
Yep.
garment, the pressing is done in such a way that it appears as if it's new. In fact, the packing is close to what you would get when you buy a new shirt or a new pair of trousers, uh,
Mhm.
any garment for that matter, right? The way we pack
Mhm.
it, the way we seal it and then dispatch it, uh, there's a huge difference in the way all these processes have been defined and have been set up, right? So
Mhm.
I don't think any of the neighborhood or any of the large chains of laundry services in India can compete with us on
Yep.
the quality
Definitely.
on the
Mhm.
quality front. Now, the
Yep.
reason I refer to the small quantities is that one of the things that we are very, very conscious about as a laundry services organization is that we want to be regarded as a very environment friendly, sustainable, process driven organization. To that extent, we have taken several measures to make sure that we um, conserve water. We use the bare minimum chemicals or detergents that may be required, which is where that small hotel comes in. We have, thanks to our suppliers, we have what we call IoT enabled devices, IoT enabled dosing equipment. So these are IoT,
Wow.
Internet of Things kind of devices that are on top of the dosing equipment. So we have these dosing tanks and drums which
Yep.
dispense the exact amount of detergent or liquid or any kind of additive that is required. To give an example, for a certain wash cycle, we would say that you need just 2.5 ml of a particular additive for maybe 10 kilos of 10 kilo worth of garments, right? Now
Yep.
that's a very small amount, right? And these additives and detergents are all in themselves environment friendly. They are not ecologically harmful,
Yep.
right? Because some of the the commonly available detergents and soaps in the markets, uh, what happens, they leach into the ecosystem, and then you have ponds and lakes filled with sewage and foaming water and all that. So none of our chemicals do that. So all this is
Yep.
metered. The dosage is metered. The water is metered. We recycle water, and that is we our target is pretty high. But currently, we are able to recycle up to 40% of the water that we consume. So we have
Yep.
an equipment called the Aqua Miser. It is really a miser. It's a very miserly equipment. It actually extracts useful water, recycles it back into the process, and we are able to extract some of the chemicals and offload it so that it can be used elsewhere for some other use.
That's great. And India as a whole is going through this sort of environmentally conscious shift towards sustainability. And I know you guys also have the use of an electronic delivery van, which also helps the environment. And you guys don't use plastic in your packaging. So you guys, like you said, have already been focusing on this sustainability shift. So do you think you could give us a view into your thoughts on India's eventual shift towards an environmentally friendly world?
Uh, Look, this is the need of the hour. We've, thanks to there have been a lot of symposia, a lot of forums. You have the COP22. You have had the world, the United Nations, various programs, UNDP, and so on. Right? All of them are, in fact, the Nobel Prize was also awarded some time back to a team of scientists who predicted or who forecast the global warming that's happening or taking place, and how the world will get affected. So keeping all these things in mind, there are these macro factors where the global warming is something that's going to happen eventually. So what are the measures that we can take as individuals, as companies, as corporations, as countries, as maybe groups of nations, where we can reduce the effect or the impact of human exploitation of resources, right? So that is a problem that is seized uh, many thinkers, many political entities, corporations all over the world. And we thought that we should contribute to making our globe, our Earth, our planet a more sustainable, more habitable kind of environment. And we'll try and contribute in whatever way we can. So, to that extent, yes, the e-vans or last mile delivery vans are all electric vehicles. So we are trying to reduce the carbon footprint there. Uh,
Yep.
Packaging, we use recycled paper. In fact, I've got a couple of samples. If you just give me a minute.
Oh, really?
Recycled paper. This is a simple brown paper, and you can see the garment is packed very neatly, nicely inside that, right?
Yep.
And this is something that we reuse, whatever is a good quality paper that can be reused. We have got labels
Yep.
which are again paper labels. This is all eco-friendly ink that is used here. You can see the logo. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, that's the LaundryMate, what we call the pareidolia. I'll explain the pareidolia a little later. but that's the LaundryMate logo and the font, and this is our kind of a sticker that we use. And when we talk about the non-plastic, right, uh, this is made of cornstarch. This is a biodegradable or a compostable kind of material. It looks like plastic, feels like plastic, has slightly lesser strength than the plastic, but
Wow.
pretty equally, right? So
Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah, this is what it looks like, and that's the pareidolia, which
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain a little later. That one there,
Yeah.
right? So we use all kinds of eco-friendly materials. A lot of these are either reusable or they are biodegradable and decomposable, right? So these are significant, maybe small, but significant measures that we are taking. We are also looking at installing solar panels on top of our
Mm-hmm.
factory premises so that we can
Yeah.
use electricity for our heating and lighting needs and so on. So a lot of measures underway. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you ask me, where is India headed? I think, uh, while we are definitely increasing our or reducing our carbon footprint and increasing our usage of eco-friendly materials and also contributing to the environment, I think a lot of other Indian companies are also doing the same thing in some measure. So uh, many companies, many organizations, Indians, many citizens have recognized that uh, environment is something that we need to take care of. We need to respect it, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, there are many
Yep,
measures.
definitely. Mm-hmm. And I just want to shift back to the different laundry methods. I know in India there's a very popular method, uh, which is the traditional Dobby model.
Right.
So, do you think you could explain to us how that model works and how LaundryMate differs from this old age method?
Uh, See, the hobby gut method is again part of the fragmented industry that I was talking about. It is basically hobby gut is two man, three, 4 man kind of outfit. So it's a very manual, labor intensive kind of a process where
Yeah.
the dhobi. So for your viewers, dhobi is basically a washerman. The
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dhobi is the Hindi name for washerman or somebody who does
Yeah.
laundry, right? Uh, a dhobi ghat is a place. A ghat is basically a place which has got water supply, which has got some kind of a
Mm-hmm.
washing or a general clear. Typically, a ghat would be by the river bank or the on the shores of a pond or a lake, right? That's
Yeah.
how the term evolved, dhobi ghat. Now, a
Mm-hmm.
dhobi ghat typically would involve a lot of manual labor, a lot of wastage of water, uh, unregulated or harsh use of chemicals. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there are many problems with the Dhobi kind of a model. Uh,
Yeah.
you have to depend on the person to come and pick up your laundry.
Mm-hmm.
You are at his whims and mercies. He will deliver to you when he's available, when he's free to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Because he also has to wash and iron or dry clean your clothes. Secondly,
Yeah.
the Dhobi guard works in highly hazardous and unregulated environments. You know,
Mm-hmm.
by polluting the river or the lake or the bank of pond, wherever he works, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
then the kind of chemicals that are let out into the water. Secondly, there is no consistency or standardization of quality, right? Because the
Yep.
drying process is left to the elements. It's out in the open. It's
Mm-hmm.
on the grass bed or something.
Yeah.
The ironing is typically done with the old coal fed iron boxes or sometimes electric irons, which are not regulated in terms of the temperature. So quality suffers, timelines suffer, and there are a lot of damages that also happen to the garment. As against this, some someone like us, LaundryMate,
Mm-hmm.
we have very well defined automated processes. The
Yep.
garment is there's very little human involvement in terms of handling the garment. Most of the garments
Mm-hmm.
are, during the processing cycle, they are all washed, the ironing as well as the packing. A lot of it is
Yeah.
done through automated processes. As a result, the quality is consistent, and the best part is that we are able to provide these kind of services at very affordable rates. And the biggest, I would say that our biggest proposition is that we are able to pick it up from your doorstep and deliver it to your doorstep in 24 hours,
Yeah.
which is a big thing. So, you know, technical. I mean, it's quite possible that you give your shirt today and you're in a position to wear it again tomorrow at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's a real powerful proposition, I would say.
Yep. And talking about your affordability aspect to your product, I know you've implemented a subscription tier-based model,
Right.
which you've dubbed Club Ultimate. And could you talk about how this model improves, one, your profits as a company, and two, the customer experience compared to traditional payment methods?
Okay. I will take the second one now.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll respond to the second question before I come to the first one.
Yeah.
I think the Club Ultimate is a big driver of you know uh, how our services are delivered and experienced by the customers. Uh, so what we have tried to replicate is mix of multiple models. In India, you have the Dhobi model or you have the Istriwala. Istriwala, for your viewers, basically is the iron guy. There is a
Yeah.
steam press and a steam iron guy, somebody who presses the
Mhm.
clothes and then you know packs it neatly and then hands it over to you, right?
Yeah.
So the model in India, the most familiar model in India is that there is an iron guy who's a neighborhood local mom and pop store, a hole in the wall kind of a store.
Mhm.
So the guy approaches multiple households, collects clothes, irons them in his small tiny shop, and then brings it back. So
Yeah.
we wanted to give that kind of an experience. So we have uh, avoided the hassle of counting the clothes, segregating the clothes, identifying the clothes, etc. So in a subscription model, what happens is that on an appointed day, so you can choose subscription packs. You can have a monthly pack or an annual pack or a semi-annual pack or a quarterly pack.
Mhm.
What it means is
Yeah.
that in a monthly pack, you get a free pickup and delivery once a week.
Mhm.
In a quarterly pack, you get free pickup and delivery three times a week, right?
Mhm.
So you can choose the date that you want the delivery or you want the pickup. You can have it, back to back. You can have the delivery done on the day of the pickup and vice versa, right? Or
Yeah.
you can have it on any day. For example, you can have it on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can say that
Mhm.
all the pickups will happen on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the delivery will also happen on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which means that when he comes
Mhm.
to pick up, he would have delivered the previous day's
Yeah. Mhm.
Thursday delivery.
Sorry, you just cut out a little bit.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah, you're
so
good now.
yeah, yeah, you can have a model where you can say that you can ask for a pickup on a Monday and a delivery on Tuesday,
Mhm. Yeah.
uh, second pickup on Wednesday and the second delivery on Thursday, or you can have Monday's pickup to be delivered on Wednesday and Wednesday's pickup to be delivered on Friday. So various kinds of
Yeah.
options are available. Now, what this
Mhm.
means is that it prevents the hassle. So there is a person, a laundry-made person approaches the customer at an appointed hour, appointed day, every day at the same time, at the same slot, picks up clothes, right? Irrespective of the number of garments or clothes, what we call a load,
Mhm.
right? Now the
Yeah.
customer can give, maybe if the customer has only two garments to give, she can give two garments. If she has 20 garments to give, she can give 20 garments, right? For
Mhm.
whatever processing that needs to be done. Uh,
Now,
so
what happens if they use their three? Say they have three per week, and they want a fourth one. Uh, what happens then?
they can always place a standard order. A standard order is where you can
Okay.
place an order any time of the week, any time of the day.
So that's per item, the standard order.
Yes, that's per
Okay.
item. That's per item.
Mhm.
The caveat there is that we need to have we have defined certain slabs. So if your order
Mm-hmm.
value is less than a certain slab, then you pay delivery charges.
Okay.
For example,
All
if
right.
your order value is less than 250 rupees, then there's a certain delivery charge.
Mm-hmm.
But in a
Yep.
subscription, you don't need to pay any delivery charge at all.
Yep.
So there is no limit or there is no cap on the number of items that you can give.
Mm-hmm.
You can give one item, as I mentioned earlier, or you can give 10, or you can give multiples of 10,
Yep.
whatever.
And does the 24-hour delivery back still apply to a standard order, or is it
Every
just for?
every order, it applies to every order, whether
Okay.
it be a subscription order or a standard order. A subscription
Mm-hmm.
order customer has a choice to specify whether he wants it in within 24 hours or he's okay to have the delivery on the next pickup date, right? The standard or customer also has a choice to ask for a delivery maybe 3 days later, 5 days later. For example, some of our customers might be traveling, so they might want to give their
Yep.
laundry to us and then get back the laundry after they've come back from their weekend travel, let's say. So
Mm-hmm.
we've had many customers who've given us their laundry on a Friday and said, I expect it back on Monday morning because I'll be traveling
Yeah.
for the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've done that. We've
Yep.
done those kind of deliveries. So both the options are available. But the standard default service is 24 hours. So all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
customers get default service. If they don't specify, they get it in 24 hours. But if they specify,
Yeah.
then they can get it at a later date as well.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back to the subscription model, the advantage of a subscription model is that the customer, she doesn't pay for delivery charges. She doesn't pay delivery charges.
Mm-hmm.
She has a fixed schedule. She can decide the days of the week or the time that she wants her deliveries or her pickups done. And at that appointed hour, a person from LaundryMate will approach her, will collect the garments, and the same day, the same time next day, all the finished goods will be with her, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
big advantage.
Yeah.
That we believe improves the customer experience hugely because the the customer's involvement is limited to simply handing over the garments.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a process of mechanism of counting the garments, segregating the garments, and
Yeah.
giving this
Mm-hmm.
kind of a feedback to the customer. So customer knows she knows exactly how many garments have been received by us, how many we have taken, how many we have marked for ironing, how many we have marked for washing, uh, dry cleaning, and so on. So she doesn't have to bother.
Mm-hmm.
For her, it's just
Yeah.
the only physical interaction that she has is pick up the clothes and segregate it and hand it over to our person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And going back, you don't have to answer this specifically, but how has the subscription tier model helped your company grow in profits?
Uh, I will not comment on the profit because that is a bit of a
Okay.
sensitive this thing. Yes, it is
Yeah, no
profitable.
problem.
Yeah, it is profitable.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that. I will not
Yeah.
talk about the numbers. I will not share the numbers because uh, I
Yeah.
don't think it is right on my part to share some business critical numbers. But yes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it is a very profitable kind of service. But beyond profits, I think what has helped our company is that the subscription really builds loyalty. It builds trust, it builds loyalty, and it builds
Yeah.
a whole lot of engagement with our customers because our customers, once they start trusting us, see the subscription customer evolves. Initially, people place what we call standard orders. They want to try us
Yeah.
out, place one or two orders. They see how we perform. uh, when we exceed their expectations, they start trusting us more and more, and then they get
Mm-hmm.
into a stage where they become our subscribers, where they say that, look,
Yeah.
I trust you with my clothes, with my garment completely. I know you guys will take
Mm-hmm.
care of it. So they just offload their entire laundry to us, so to speak. They just say, just take this away from me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I know you'll do a good job. And hence these are customers who are very loyal to us. These are customers who believe in our services, and the experience that they get keeps getting richer and richer every passing day. So if you ask me, yes, it's been growing. It's growing at a steady clip. The subscriber base has
Yeah.
been growing steadily, and we are seeing a lot of conversions from the standard base into the subscriber base. Ultimately, I think
Mm-hmm.
subscriber base will be the one that will drive. volumes for us, because these are the
Yeah.
people who will
Hmm.
offload more and more of their garments.
Hmm. Yep. And that loyalty that you spoke of is pretty important, especially in the Bangalore laundry scene, as I've seen there's a lot of different companies that are competing with you in this sphere. Just to name a few, What's Up
Mhm.
and Adobe. So I wanted to ask you, how does LaundryMate differentiate itself from these competitors in the market?
Uh, Again, I will go back to our key propositions, which is affordability, convenience, above all, the 24-hour service promise, right? Uh, I don't think any of the laundries, not just in Bangalore or Bengaluru as we call it, not just in Bengaluru, but nationally, I don't think any of us can compete on any of these parameters with us. Uh, so nobody has a 24-hour service at the kind of
Mm-hmm.
prices or rates that we are able to service our customers. They do. There are certain laundry chains, and there are a few standalone laundries which give you 12-hour or a 24-hour express delivery service. But the kind of
Yeah.
rates they charge are premium rates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, most of the customers who go to these laundries, they are the ones who seek uh, some kind of cleaning service for some of the special garments, wedding garments, or high value or expensive suits. I don't believe that any of the uh, laundry service providers in Bengaluru or nationally,
Mm-hmm.
whole of the country, I don't believe any of them can provide the kind of service at the prices, at the kind of quality that we can provide. So they are,
Yep.
honestly speaking, I don't think they are competition to us. Yeah, they are
Mm-hmm.
competitors in the larger scheme of things in the industry, but our the competition is, I would say, the competition is the laundry, the washing machine or the laundry that is done at home by
Mm-hmm.
homemakers or
Yeah.
people at home. So that really is the uh, target that we want to you know solve for. That is the target
Mm-hmm.
population that we want to solve for. uh,
Yep.
right. So you mentioned a few names. They have their own spaces. They operate in their own little market, but I don't believe they can compete with us on any of the uh, three, four key parameters that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you guys have obviously had a great start to your company the past few years. So could you talk about how you guys are planning to expand and grow your services in the future? Maybe around different markets, not just in Bengaluru.
Yeah. Uh, so Bengaluru was our first site. In fact, we plan to have four such plants or four such factories, four or perhaps more, in the city in Bengaluru. Our plan is to expand nationally. Our vision is that by 2030, we will be
Mm-hmm.
the largest preferred laundry services provider in the country, uh,
Mm-hmm.
with revenues exceeding $1 billion, right? And
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about market cap, I'm talking about revenue,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm.
to put it in Indian rupees, it is 8,000 plus crores, right? So that is the kind of revenue that we are looking to seek. And how do we plan to do this? We will expand nationally. So as we are speaking, plans are underway to expand our footprint in Bengaluru by setting up the second unit, uh, maybe diagonally across, geographically across the city. Uh, then we will expand to large markets like NCR. NCR is the National Capital Region, which comprises New Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, Faridabad, etc. These are
Yeah.
cities in and around the national capital, right? So it's New Delhi plus the cities or the communities around the national capital. So that's another big market. From there, we will move to various other metro or sub-metro cities. So our plan is to be in the top 10 cities of India, apart from Bengaluru, in the next 3 to 4 years. And in year, let's say by 2030, we should be in the top 30 cities of India,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And with each city having at least two factories or two plants. So
Mhm.
we would be looking at somewhere close to 60 to 70 factories or plants across the nation. Uh, and you know the market is huge. In fact, we've already got a whole lot of excited and anxious queries from markets like New Delhi, Hyderabad, and Pune, uh, amongst our
Mhm.
own friends and relative circle,
Yeah.
who are very
Mhm.
eager to use our services and keep pushing us and asking, when will you be in our city? We are waiting for you. When are you going to be in our city? And
Mhm.
because there's a certain lead time in setting up the plant or the factory. It typically takes us about anywhere between 6 to 9 months to set up a plant,
Yeah. Mhm.
set up the operations, etc. So it's going to be a phased rollout, but it's going to be a quick rollout, and that's how we plan to expand. So that is when you talk about expanding our footprint horizontally across the nation.
Yeah.
Now we are also looking at uh, increasing the portfolio of services. Currently, we offer four
Mhm.
services, which is wash and iron, which are wash and
Yeah.
iron, wash and fold, dry cleaning, and steam iron. But we plan to add other services like starching, bleaching, dyeing, maybe darning services. We may plan to add various other services like carpets and curtains cleaning, uh, leather goods, finishing leather goods, such as stitching or mending shoes and leather wallets and bags and so on.
Yeah.
So those are on the anvil, but we haven't set up the equipment or the infrastructure for that yet.
Yep. That's great. I wish you the best of luck. $1 billion is amazing, obviously. And yep. So, would you be able to finally just give us your five key takeaways from our conversation today?
Oh, okay. Let me recollect.
Yeah, I know it's a lot.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
can do like three, that's good as well.
yeah. I would say LaundryMate. Maybe I mean I would encourage you all to use LaundryMate services if you are we are currently in Bengaluru. If you happen to be in Bengaluru, and over the next few years we should be in many more cities in India. Uh, One, because uh, we are a company that believes in sustainable, eco-friendly, ecologically. We are a very eco-conscious kind of a company. Sustainable measures and all our processes, all our uh, equipment, ingredients, everything is geared towards making sure that our services, the output uh, is least harmful to the environment. So one, we are an eco-friendly company. Uh,
Yeah.
the second takeaway would be that our key proposition of very good quality laundry services at very affordable rates and within a very short uh, but reasonable timeline of 24 hours is something that definitely needs to be tried out. One of the key propositions is that we believe, and this is borne out by the survey that we carried out. We did. I mentioned that we had conducted a market survey when we were getting together and looking at launching this business. Right. Uh, the survey revealed many deep insights about consumers and the consumer behavior. One thing that stood out for me is that laundry is uh, part of our human life or human activities, which is universally regarded as a chore. Okay, nobody likes to do laundry. It's a bit like friction. It's a necessary evil. Okay, there are many human activities or chores that human beings are saddled with. Cooking is one of them. Shopping, commuting, or driving to work, etc. Many of these so-called chores are actually pleasurable. Okay, many people enjoy shopping. Many people enjoy cooking. I personally don't. That's different. I don't enjoy cooking. I don't enjoy commuting or driving to work. But many people do, right? But laundry is one such chore. which is universally hated, but there's no
Yeah.
choice. You've got to do it. Okay? And this is what we are telling people. We will take away that headache, that chore away from you. You don't need to worry about it. You need to reclaim your life. You spend your life on many other things. That's the tagline. That it's about time. It's about time. We will
Yeah.
give back time to you. That
Mm.
I think is one of my biggest takeaways as to why we've set up LaundryMate. What we are trying to do. We are trying to help you reclaim your life by minimizing the number of hours or the number of minutes that you spend on laundry every day.
Yep. Great. Thank you so much for those. Thank you so much for coming on to this episode of The Exponential Edge. And finally, thanks to our viewers for watching this episode. And tune in next time to see people, trends, and businesses that will see exponential adoption in the future. Thank you, Raghavendra.
Yeah, thank you, Arya. It was a pleasure talking to you,
Yep.
and I hope
Definitely.
we are able to have lengthier conversation sometime soon. I would love to talk you guys through our our processes and the kind of technology platform that we've set up. Thank you, Arya.
Yep, of course.
It was a great platform.
Yep.
Okay,
All right. Bye.
bye. Take care.